fans are already petitioning for Scott Eastwood to fill his father's iconic role in the upcoming A Fistful of Dollars remake. Hollywood nepotism may actually benefit the remake project by casting Scott Eastwood in the lead role made famous by Clint. Scott Eastwood, with a solid acting resume and a lineage in Hollywood, seems like the perfect candidate for the role of the man with no name. The announcement that Clint Eastwood movie A Fistful of Dollars is being remade has met with the usual wall of incredulity and scorn from social media, but in amongst the outrage, some fans have already moved on to petition for one particular person to be cast in the role of the man with no name. While the new iteration of the spaghetti western that spawned the genre is still in early development, and no casting decisions are on the horizon, the name that has started appearing in several online discussions is a familiar one: Eastwood. Scott Eastwood. A Fistful of Dollars was released in 1964, directed by Sergio Leone and starring Clint Eastwood as the enigmatic lead in what would become his greatest critical hit. The actor would reprise the role in 2 further films, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and the trilogy became a staple of a genre that continues to fascinate fans decades after its peak. The idea of remaking A Fistful of Dollars stirred up the usual bemoaning of Hollywood's inability to go more than a few months without resorting to rehashing older movies. If it has to happen though, some fans believe there is only one person capable of filling some Eastwood-sized boots, and that would be his son, Scott Eastwood. Hollywood is often called out as a nepotistic daydream, where one generation of actors follows another into the world of movies, but there are many times when those family connections can work against the discourse and actually bring about success for projects that could otherwise be buried. The potential casting of Scott Eastwood in his father's role seems like the one thing that could quell the cries of outrage and get people behind the movie before it has even made it into production. Who is Scott Eastwood? Scott Eastwood received his first movie role, starring as Lund Ford in the war movie Flags of Our Fathers, which was directed by his father, Clint. However, for that role, and several that followed, he avoided using the name that would instantly have people crying nepotism, instead using the name Scott Reeves. However, after starring in several movies under the pseudonym, Reeves became Eastwood, and has remained so ever since. He has made over 35 appearances on screen in the last 2 decades, with roles in 2014's Texas Chainsaw, 2016's Suicide Squad, and played Little Nobody in The Fate of the Furious and Fast X. His upcoming roles include a team-up with Sylvester Stallone in Alarum, the Jamie Foxx movie Tin Soldier, and starring alongside Kate Beckinsale in the drama Stolen Girl. With plenty of experience to draw on, as well as the Eastwood lineage, it is not hard to see why many fans believe that if A Fistful of Dollars is going to be remade, then there is only one man who can walk those dusty trails. We can expect a long wait to discover who will be cast in the role made famous by Clint Eastwood, but in the meantime, the Dollars trilogy can be found streaming on Prime Video and Max.